Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Chevron 1, encoded.
For my ally is the Force, and the powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Cry hammer, and let's set the dogs of war.
Chevron 2 encoded.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of your women.
It's all in the reflexes.
Paul also said you're heavy into martial arts, Tai Chi and all that killer stuff.
I suppose we have to register you as a lethal weapon.
Chevron 3 encoded.
And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. I won't. The hell I will.
Chevron 4 encoded.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Chevron 5 encoded.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Chevron 6 encoded.
Now come on, you can, monkey boy.
Great Scott.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
You shall not pass!
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
The day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day.
Chevron 7 is locked.
Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Saturday Night Drive-In, where we take a little time out of every week to sit back, talk some movies, whether we like them or not. Sometimes we like them, sometimes no. Sometimes we're neutral, and we still have a good time no matter what. How you doing, Jed? See, I didn't do anything weird today. I just said hi.
No, I'm doing great. And yeah, it's always fantastic to set a little time aside to watch classic movies, whether or not you've seen them before or you're extending your palette. This show is my favorite thing that I do on YouTube, just because it's classic films. That's what we focus on, at least try to focus on a little bit, something a little bit older, maybe a little obscure or something beloved. And it's nice not to be negative all the time.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately the environment we live in the entertainment industry, that we have to be so negative constantly. This is a breath of fresh air. Even if, like you said, we don't love these movies that we're checking out every time, we're always having a good discussion about them and seeing the value in them.
There's always something to take away from every movie, good or bad. There's always something to find. And you and I have, I was looking at the playlist earlier. We've done this 125 times.
Wow. Us specifically? The drive-in entity version of it?
This is 126 today. We've done
we should
this.
Do something for 150.
I guess so. I haven't really, since I don't outwardly number them, I haven't kept track. I only know because I was I was looking at my playlist tab because I was adding a new playlist, or I was making sure something was in order. And I was like, oh, 125. Okay. We've done this for a while. Anyway, but there's always something said. You and I, with this in particular, we always try to find an objective way to talk about this stuff. Whether I'm going goo goo gaga or something, or you're so blown away by it, and I just go, So, but the object, I think one of the best things is the objectivity, and there's always something to talk about if you look at it like that. If you take your feelings, and I think today's movie will be one of those types where we're just talking about it. Varsity Blues, starring James Vanderbeek, John Voight, and several other people. Ali Larder in a whipped cream bikini. Paul Walker, who's dead now. Sorry. I've been figuring out. I was figuring out a way to make that joke, and it just did not go well.
So you just say it bluntly?
I just said it bluntly, although go ahead.
I don't know if you'll find this funny, but recently I watched another early 90s Paul Walker movie, and I don't know if you've ever heard of it or seen it. Tammy and the T-Rex with him in it.
No. No, that one.
Oh
slipped by
my
me.
god, it's terrible. It's what's the girl from Starship Troopers that everybody loves who's actually evil in that movie?
Denise Richards.
Yeah. So it's her and Paul Walker in a high school movie where he dies because of some bullies in high school, and an evil scientist steals him and puts his brain in a robotic T-Rex.
Just stop. Just stop.
And there's a rampage.
Is there a reason you watch this?
Yes, I was actually playing a game called High on Life from a few years ago. If you've ever heard of that one, and there's a point where your house, you visit your house for a little while. You have to talk to the characters in there, and one of them is watching TV. And I just saw that there was a real movie on, and I looked at it, and I just kept watching until I realized they're gonna play the whole damn movie, aren't they? So in game, I sat on the couch and watched the movie with them. It was terrible, but it was hilarious. It's one of those funny bad B movies.
I don't know how to reply to that. I don't.
I enjoyed it. It was terrible, but I enjoyed every second of it. It was really awful.
Oh, and I excuse everybody if I inexplicably twitch or something. I have a bruised rib, so certain actions will make me wince. So I apologize for interrupting if I do that. Anyway, yeah, that's terrible. Shame on you. Shame on you. I mean, at least I get paid to watch the horrible shit I watch. You willingly sat there and watched it in a game you were playing.
I got my Switch then and played Pokemon. So
oh, God.
I started playing a different game at the same time.
You know what? That I can respect. Playing another game while watching a movie in another game, I can respect that. That I can respect. That's just, you know what? You're giving up on trying not to be the ultimate loaf gamer. And it's like, yep. Okay, let's go. Did you have a screen on with the internet someplace too to make it a trifecta?
I was watching TV with my wife at the same time, so I'm a multitasker. I'm always multitasking. I was a lot better as a kid with multitasking, but still, I do it a lot.
I try not to multitask.
I don't like doing one thing at a time.
I try not to multitask. I find I'm more efficient if I just do one thing. If I organize a website. Anyway, little Paul Walker tangent, unintended, but I'll allow it. So Paul Walker, he's in this movie, but he's not the star. He's slightly in this movie, but his character still has some meaning relevance. Anyway, so Varsity Blues, 1999, end of the century, end of a decade. Total sports movie, yet not, because we were talking about this a minute ago before we went live. This is a movie that I rather like, not for a sports movie, but for the character work and the morals and ideas that it pushes. This is a movie that, for some unexplainable reason, I will watch several times a year. I'll put it on while I'm doing something else, maybe playing a video game, just because it's good company for some reason, and I will watch it and have it on just because I like it. I can't fully explain why, but I just do. Either way, so essentially what we have here, when it starts off, you kind of think it's going to be did you think it was going to be a silly movie when it started?
A little bit. That opening montage, or that opening sequence where they're all getting in the truck, makes it seem like it's going to be a little bit ridiculous, more on the comedy side. Definitely implies that.
Yeah, it feels as though Varsity Blues is going to be a lighthearted movie about these guys at the end of their career in high school football, this and that. But about 20 minutes in, it starts to you realize, no, this is actually going to be something serious. It's not a comedy. It's not a nice movie. It's a movie about corruption in high school sports, essentially, and bullying from an adult to kids who get indoctrinated. Because, Jed, did you play high school football at all?
I did. Yeah, I played 1 year sophomore in high school, and I played middle school as well.
Okay, I played football from, I would say, 11 to 14. I played football.
Okay,
and I did 1 season of JV football in high school, and I was doing great. I had these really great gloves. These gloves I had found in a sports shop that I put them on, absorbed all pain when my hands did stuff. And when I had them on, I was a beast. Then I let some jackass borrow them one game, and he left them. It was an away game.
God.
And then I went and did something, and my hands got crunched a little bit, and something clicked, and I was like, wow, okay, pain reaction. And I lost my edge. I lost my because I couldn't find those gloves again. And as the season it was towards the end of the season, I decided, you know what? I don't really want to do this anymore. So I kind of just faded into the background of the team. And then on the final game of the year, they brought down a varsity player to play. They brought in a ringer for our game. And during preliminary practice, right before the game, we were doing some tackling drills just to get warmed up. That dude took my head off. I saw green for 10 minutes. I got hit so bad. And then I realized I am done. I am not going to play. I probably had a concussion. I didn't
probably being a little Billy Bob there.
Maybe a little bit. But I saw green for 10 minutes. Everything literally looked green. I remember now. It was freaky as fuck. And that game, I just melted into the bench behind everybody playing, saying, please don't put me in. And the coach didn't put me in. For somehow, some way, they put me in. And that was it for me in football. Yet the head coach of the Varsity team every year in high school, Adam, you going to play this year? Sorry, coach. I'm not going to play. Sorry, coach. I don't want to.
What position did you play?
If I was on offense, because we did Ironman, because we didn't have a very big team, so we had to go back and forth. Offense, I was usually a guard, and on defense, I was a tackle. So it's because I mean, when I could flip on like beast mode, I could be vicious, and I played clean, no helmet to helmet contact, full shoulder stuff like that. I played it clean, but it lost it completely. And that hit told me I'm not doing this. I know I'm done. So we both understand high school. Now neither of us were in Texas where high school football is religion. That's one thing this movie is very, very true about. Football in Texas.
Is it really this bad though? This feels like a character.
I don't know.
That's my biggest problem with the movie is I get small towns loving football. In my small town, I mean, our town was so small, we couldn't even play real football. We played 8-man football. And we had 10 players. That was the whole team. But they did take it seriously. We did have big crowds and stuff like that, and people did care. But it was nothing like this movie. This movie feels a little too.
It's definitely over dramatized. But high school,
like the dad saying, "Hey, I know you got a full ride to an Ivy League school, but we got to talk about your football game."
Dumb character.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is
so much. I couldn't get invested
up
in the movie because of it. It was just
okay.
It was too like the statue to the coach. There's a fucking statue to a high school football coach that is too heavy to move. It's just too much a lot of the time in the movie, and I don't think the movie needed it. The concept of a coach who's made his entire life how good.
I think it does. I think the movie hinges on it. Without Kilmer as the villain.
No. I'm saying he makes sense without going so far with the town. His character makes sense.
No, I think Kilmer needs to be such an oppressive voice in that town. He can manipulate the cops. He can manipulate.
That's too much.
It's such a super small town, though. I think
one of the
Peter should be in jail.
He stole a cop car. That's way too much. That's what I mean by my suspension of disbelief, where this high school coach is able to get kids out of jail. He's able to ruin scholarships. It's just
coaches can ruin scholarships. I think they can ruin scholarships in a way. One bad letter from anybody can ruin a scholarship.
Well, he specifically said that he was going to mess with his grades. He was going to mess with his transcript.
In general, though. In general,
and. Yeah, if he's already gotten approved, his transcript's already been sent to the university, so there's not a...
That's probably poor research on the movie's part, because when the letter arrives, clearly, it's the last, essentially, 5 weeks of this of football season, which means it's fall, winter, but it's Texas, so it always looks like that in Texas. So I get what you're saying. I understand that. I kind of push all that aside because to me, from my understanding, football is like a religion in Texas at all levels. I mean, even how do Cowboys fans even live with themselves? I don't understand it because Cowboys haven't been relevant forever, but they still live and die by them down there. Point is, I agree it's probably movie dramatized, it's over dramatized, but I think at the core, there is obsession in small towns about their teams. I believe that is true. Somebody in the chat or the comments, tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. I've never lived in Texas.
I'm sure we've got at least a Texan in our chat who might be able to tell us.
Well, I think we need a born Texan, not just somebody who moved there, someone who probably grew up there and knows it. What I'm saying is this, though. I believe the movie does a good representation of how important it is to these small communities and how it does turn high school students into literal gods if they're successful at it. That is a true thing. It's true in any sport, in a way, in high school, in any region of the country. If that's like your sport, you become a god. You can get away with so much.
You become a god in the school itself, and you get scholarships. But I've never heard of being a high school star getting your run of an entire town. Like all these characters becoming gods in the high school with the high school girls, even the cheerleader chick who was the Paul Walker's girlfriend.
Allie Larder.
Her behavior, all the high school students' behavior, even the coaches, all within the confines of the high school. I can buy everything except for the statue. I can buy everything else that happens inside the school. But the dads leaving work to watch practice obsessively.
I don't know if they never stress what their jobs are, so I don't know.
It's true, but they're still there near every practice. There is a line of dads watching.
I can understand that, but only two dads. The other guys I think are just their buddies. What that represents to me is men trapped in the illusion of what their youth was. Because I'm not saying this movie is super deep, but that's what I've always taken, that those guys sitting there, because the one line, those boys are having the best time of their lives because they've convinced themselves that they were having the best time of their lives. Because there is that old thing where people peak in high school, and that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Some people peak in high school, and
most of those guys did, and all those fathers were obsessed with their kids reliving those glory days and continuing them. They're like, you're going to get a football scholarship, you're going to go play professional, and it was all about continuing that high. Because I agree, they definitely peaked in high school, and they didn't want their sons to peak in high school as well. And that's all they
in
knew.
a weird way they didn't want to, but they're
very egotistic about it.
The parental obsession is broken, and
like the dad when Paul Walker gets injured, don't do this to me, God, don't do this to me. Your son is screaming on the field.
And that's a great point, because that leads in. So what we have here is it shows the corruption, which is real. They will, and this is 1999, and I'm sure it's even worse now with today's cocktails and stuff like that, and steroid use going on in all levels of sports, because it's happening. It happens. It's terrible, but it happens. Because the pressure on these kids to succeed in these things is through the roof. That Kilmer, John Voight's character, they were basically effing with Paul Walker's knee. And it was a weak knee, but nobody knew it, because before every game they're injecting shit in there. Because that's when Mox, James Van Der Beek's character Mox, sees him doing that. He knows the drill was going on, and the dads never knew it.
At the hospital, they were all like, "What are you talking about? There's something wrong with his knee. There's a ton of scar tissue there." And that's one thing I wish there was a little bit more clarity on. I got the connection with the injections are helping Paul Walker play, and then at the end, the big climactic moment, don't inject your leg, Brown. But I needed more details about what specifically was getting injected and what was it doing. Is it a steroid? Is it a numbing agent? Just that's more my curiosity, but specifically what they're doing and how that is allowing scar tissue to build up, but not stopping him playing.
Probably, I mean, if this is senior year, he's probably been playing since freshman year. He's probably been playing since Pee Wee, so he's probably been playing football for 10 years at this point, and probably the knee probably got jacked up at some point. I would say 5-6 years prior. And every time it got hurt, he would walk it off, because there is the whole walk it off mentality. Don't show it. Don't do that. And
John Voight was terrible with that, with Billy Bob. That's what I felt. Billy Bob was my favorite character. He actually had an arc that I was interested in, and it was a bit tragic. But his whole thing about no one taking his concussion seriously.
Oh, good news! That guy has lost that weight. He's not that fat anymore, so don't worry about him. He's fine. I just saw a picture before the show. I was bringing something up. Yeah, he's not fat anymore. But in that dude's a gigantic.
Yeah, I thought the dude from Remember the Titans was huge, and then had his redemption arc.
Dude, they had him. For that opening scene, he's drinking syrup. out of the bottle. I cringe at that. Like, ugh.
That was pretty gross.
Well, yeah,
I didn't need some of that stuff from that sequence. All right, the pig stuff was a little funny, and it set up the reveal about his Minecraft scene later on, which was good. But I didn't need to see the dude's hairy ass and balls up against the window. Just saying, I could have lived without that.
Listen, there is fair and balanced nudity of everybody in this movie. There's titties, there's ass. There's half naked men all over the place. So I ignore that part because everybody, male and female, get a taste of something in this movie. So
there's more flattering ones later, like when Tweed steals the car and comes out naked. Like that's full ass, and it's like, all right, that's whatever. But just pressed up against the glass, like that was too much.
We call that a pressed ham, Jed. It's called a pressed ham.
A pressed ham.
A pressed ham. Anyway,
considering I was born when this movie came out, I might have missed that.
I didn't watch the movie. It was years before I watched this movie. It's like something I saw on TV once, and then I kind of liked it. And as I said, I just keep watching it every once in a couple times a year now. Point is, Billy Bob has a fantastic because he had a concussion for who knows how long. Of course, that playing football at that weight, how did he keep going that long at that weight? That's because where's his cardio? There's no way that guy has the stamina.
Well, yeah, they saw him. They showed him running in that first game a lot. Like he was guarding while they were running into the end zone. Being that fat will work on the line a little bit, but they showed him still doing cardio, which doesn't make sense. Yeah,
but it's movie stuff. You understand? Point is, Billy Bob is. He's the catalyst, though, because a guy like Kilmer ignores what's going on. Billy Bob said, "I shouldn't play. I don't want to play." But then, no, you're going to play because it's my championship on the line. It's my district title on the line. So you're going to play. You're going to walk it off. And then that whole sequence of him on oxygen, and then he passes out. And of course, he was protecting Lance. And then Lance gets nailed, goes down, and then that's the catalyst for Mox come on. Mox, who happens to be just as good a quarterback as Lance, but doesn't give a shit because he has plans beyond football.
He's a nerd.
He's a nerd. Reading Kurt Vonnegut in between plays.
And he got yelled at for reading Vonnegut. John Voight was such an idiot, like aggressively attacking nerd stuff. He has a lineman who is literally on an inhaler on the bench looking like he's going to die. And he's like, "Get out there, man. We all depend on you." It's like,
that's the beautiful thing about the character, though. He's so bad, but he's also retarded.
He's definitely retarded. And the entire town, the town is evil. I'm going to say that right now.
I agree.
They saw what was happening. There's the injections, which are secret, and a lot of the verbal abuse, which isn't that bad from a high school perspective.
Oh, no, that happens all the time.
The yellings, whatever. But seeing Billy Bob there, looking like he's dying, needing a ventilator, you don't reel that out on the field casually. That's not something you see on a normal high school football field. And the entire town saw him run in and then pass out, leading to a quarterback's injury. And they're just focused on the quarterback, and they never address it. They're never like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't let that guy play,"
because it's represented well in his Minecraft scene, which again is a build for the whole movie, where Mox goes to him to try and stop it because he's gonna destroy his trophies, and then he's gonna drink himself silly and then off himself. That's what he was gonna do until Mox talks down. But then he says, "Do you remember when we were playing football?" And Mox goes, "Yeah, it was fun." He says, "No, it wasn't fun for me. You're too fat, Billy Bob. You're too slow, Billy Bob. You're not working hard enough, Billy Bob." And that's actually one of the best moments in the movie because some might say it's really quick, but it shows Billy Bob's indoctrination, that they had indoctrinated him that your life is this game and your life is to protect the quarterback, protect Lance, and you failed. And he believed that Kilmer was someone who was supposed to look out for him like a father figure, because he mentioned at one point his mom's dead. He doesn't have a mom. It's a throwaway line at one point later on the movie at the climax in the locker room, but his mom is dead. We don't know what his dad's situation is. So clearly Kilmer was a stabilizing force in his life, but at the same time, an abusive, indoctrinating force, and telling him all these things. And then when Kilmer cuts him loose and he can't quite understand it because he feels like he's failed, but he didn't really fail. And Mox is telling him, "No, Kilmer failed you. He failed you. He failed all of us. He failed Lance. It's not your fault because you shouldn't have been there in the first place. If Kilmer had cared about you and taken care of you, wouldn't have let you out there on the field that time. And Lance would have been, well, listen, Lance's knee was a ticking time bomb because that the good show don't tell. We know it was a ticking time bomb. Was gonna happen whether there or when he went to Florida State. It was gonna happen. Probably even worse than Florida State because that's college, much more aggressive, much more dangerous than high school.
There's a lot more pressure. There's more fans. It's taken a lot more seriously by like he's prepped for it more than most people with how crazy this town takes high school football. But he's prepared for his life to change here in high school. He has time to readjust. But if he gets injured in college, he loses his scholarship while he's in college. So that could actually shatter his future. Whereas this one, he has the time to readjust. So this is probably the best time it could have happened for him.
And the movie shows that he did readjust because the epilogue line, Lance found his calling as a football coach. And there you go. And it didn't matter.
I was glad that he wasn't a dick. I was worried that, the big quarterback, he's going to be a dick and an antagonist through the whole movie. And they brought Paul Walker in just to do that because he's a fairly large name. But I appreciated that he was still a good guy beneath it all. And he never really abused his stardom. No. Frankly, he was abused. Ali Larder was using him. Of course, she gets her mini arc where she gets brought back down to earth. You don't have to be a slut to get out of this town. He was used by his girlfriend, his parents, and his coach. His sister was really the only person who was ever honest with him.
Yeah,
I really liked her too.
Yeah, that's why. I see. Here we're finding some meeting ground here. Some halfway points. The characters in this movie are all really good, whether they only have their light storylines or the three major storylines of Mox, Billy Bob, and Kilmer. And everybody else kind of orbits them, but they're the ones who get the most work. The only character who I think is a piece of shit is, even though he does show loyalty again, Tweeter's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's fucking. He's gonna end up in prison. He's not gonna make it to college.
There's that line, Tweeter. You think you're gonna enjoy prison? Yeah, I don't know what. And then 2 minutes later, he's looking down. He's looking in his jock. He goes, "What the hell is that?" He got something on his dick because he is not a healthy boy. He's been fucking around.
Well, and he makes a lot of gay references throughout the movie, so he's prepping for his gay prison time.
And he made some date rape references too. Tweeter's not good. He's loyal in the end, which I'm okay with. That's his redeeming quality. He's loyal, but he's not. He's the worst person out of all of them. Everybody else is good. They look out for each other. I mean, Wendell doesn't have much of a storyline except Kilmer's racist to me, so get me in the end zone. But he's a good character still, and it is good. You're right. It's good storytelling that they didn't turn Lance, Paul Walker's character, into a giant dick. That he is a good guy, and that he cares about his friends. He actually cares about winning, and because there's this moment when after I think it's Mox's first game where it's either Mox's first game or second game where he's getting interviewed by the rando reporter, and it cuts to Lance in the hospital listening to this, and he's laid up, and you see that tear roll down his face. Like, man, it's just a great show don't tell moment of he realizes he's done, and the horrible thing is now, and Mox didn't do it on purpose. Mox just took over like a backup quarterback does. But Lance realizes the entire town has now forgotten about him. Because he
could have gone on an arc where he hates Mox. He could have resented Mox for everything that happened. But I think Mox's humility helps a lot. Even though that interview was weird and his girlfriend hated what he said.
But it was supposed to be weird and cringe because he's
an awkward guy a little bit. But he showed respect to Lance. He's like, yeah, Lance has these huge shoes to fill. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. And I'm just one man. It's a team effort. Like they're not bad comments.
Yeah, but it's.
I think his girlfriend overreacted to that.
She did. She was being a bitch. She was being a bitch.
His humility in that moment, I think, helped Lance not blame Mox.
And he went and Lance said, "You're the only one that came to see me in the hospital. Only one."
That helps a lot.
Yeah. So these are good kids who are stuck in a corrupt, messed up situation where Kilmer is abusing them. Their own parents are abusing them. I mean, like we said, the dads are terrible. That
I appreciated when he
the whole
Mox's dad
barbecue.
got knocked in the face.
And I love that because it's a great moment. You got to say the camera work in this movie, I think, is excellent. The production value, because not only are the shots, the non-football shots, done really well, but the football shots themselves, they slow it down enough so you can see it and feel the action, and it's not rushed. But that moment is great where everybody's the back and forth. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. His drunk mom, all that. Everybody's just going crazy there. And he has it's a great visual effect of a boiling point moment. He just turns around and just bullets that thing right in his face. And then several scenes later at the game where he throws the ball out of bounds at the Hornet, and he's like, yeah, my son did. He's like,
that was great show don't tell. I actually appreciate that moment a lot because the dad never talks about it. He never vocally says,
but he
wow,
knows
he hit me in the face on purpose. But they let the audience figure that out. And with his character as it's established, I totally buy that he would get over that enough to be like, it's more important that he's a great player, that this town, he's the hero now, and just move past it. So it makes sense why he doesn't bring it up. But I actually love that moment where
it's a great moment.
Looks down, touches his nose after being so excited. Like it's the acting right there that really sells it without any dialogue.
The realization.
That was a funny moment where he hit the mascot to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah. That was actually from the trailers in the original release. That was one of the famous clips from the trailers of him throwing it out and hitting the mascot. Of course, it's a more meaningful movie. But the shots are all well done. But the relationship right there, it's a great thing to show Mox. He's a good guy, and when pushed the limit, he will explode like that. But as the movie goes on, he channels it, especially when he talks to his girlfriend, Lance's sister, and she says, be a hero. Don't, because like you said, it's a little weird if he's already submitted his transcripts that Kilmer's saying he can do it. You know what that shows? I don't know if this might be headcanon it. Okay. Maybe that's showing that as a kid, Mox doesn't understand that Kilmer can't do anything.
And maybe Kilmer's weaponizing his reputation.
He's bluffing. Yeah, maybe it's all a bluff. And
because he doesn't do anything in the end. He doesn't actually screw with Mox.
So
he probably could have still, because the town still respects him.
Yeah. But the town lost all respect for Kilmer when he vanished in the second half of that game. Because the whole thing is, where's Kilmer? Where's Kilmer? We know what we're doing. And the kids were struggling until they, decided, let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Let's play it. Put it all on the line. But I think that might be Mox not realizing Kilmer can't do anything because he's already gotten the acceptance letter. He's just signed on the line.
That's a good headcanon. That I think that is supported by the film, and that does help a lot, that interpretation.
Yeah. It kind of, if you look at it from that angle, it kind of makes sense. Kilmer was bluffing, but Mox doesn't know because he's an 18-year-old kid. What the fuck does he know?
I would very fair.
If I was in high school and somebody said, I'm threatening, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to threaten your applications you've all sent out, even though I've already sent them out. If I didn't go talk to my mom and say this happened to me, I would maybe get in my head and think, oh shit, I'm fucked. I got to do this because you're a kid. You don't know any better. So I'm gonna go with that interpretation. I like that one that I've stumbled upon there. But then Mox needs that after he'd given a pep talk to Billy Bob, then he needs a pep talk himself. Or I'm thinking I'm reversed it. Sorry, I might have reversed it. Point is, she says, listen, don't listen to Kilmer. Don't listen to him. Be a hero. Be the guy that I like. And one of the things I do like about this movie, and I do like, is that they don't glamorize or over romanticize these high school relationships. Nobody's saying, I love you so much. I'm in love with you. No, they give us the one hand, like Ali Larter's character, who goes through her, like we said, her own mini arc. And the whipped cream bikini, that's one of the most famous things out of this movie, the whole whipped cream bikini. And Ali Larter wore it well. Hey, dude, she's aged fine. I saw her from Landman. She still looks good. She looks like an older version of herself, which is good, which is fine. And her body is still rocking. So, Ali Larter, whipped cream bikini, but she's told not to be a slut. But when she was a slut, it wasn't about love. It was about getting out of that town. And we don't know if Lance really loved her, because that doesn't get really delved into, because once he's out of it, it feels like they just kind of broke up. It's just over. They don't really delve into
They
that
both
further.
moved on from who
Yeah,
they were.
and frankly, it's fine because the way this movie works, it's one of the things I do like about this movie. It's a set time limit. It's a 5-week period with the last 5 games, 5-week period, and there's an end point in sight. So there's not a lot of time at points to delve into these extra things. So we didn't need that, but at the same time, these romance. And at one point, when Mock's deciding, am I going to go F Ali Larder? I don't know. Should I go do it? Be good, be bad, be good, be bad. He actually says, I don't know if I really am into my girlfriend. We're just kind of messing around. They're childhood friends, his best friend's sister, that kind of thing. And they never once spoke about plans of that she's going to go with him to Brown or anything like that. Never spoken of. They treat it normal. Is what I like.
It's a very realistic high school relationship where it's more just like an obligation. It's like, I feel like I should be in a relationship right now, so I like her. She's a childhood friend, and it feels more an obligation than a romance.
Yeah, and they treat it like that, and they they get their happy moment at the end after he's helped the team win it without Kilmer, and it feels like you said realistic, normal. It doesn't feel movie romanticized. Like, I did this for you. Now we're gonna go off to Brown together. No, so it works like that, and I like that the relationships feel real, the friendships feel real, and now, of course,
it balances out the total non-realism of the town.
The character work. The character work is what carries this movie, and even to the point of stupid kid stuff. It is, I mean, they plan the strip club trip, which, of course, we're going to like it. There's a lot of great tits, including the reveal that the teacher is a stripper, and thank you.
We actually predicted that as soon as the strip scene started. It's like, oh, yeah, it's going to be the teacher, isn't it?
It's obvious. I mean, they laid their breadcrumbs. That's a really nice car, the teacher's salary. They laid the breadcrumbs very easily for that.
And that's one of the problems I have with this film is it's very predictable. It's very by the numbers from a plot perspective.
Yeah.
Like, if you've seen a football movie, you've seen half of them. Like, there's 2 types of football movies. There's either you band together at the end and you win victoriously and it's great, or you learn that friendship was and teamwork was the valuable thing, and you lose with honor, like We Are Marshall style. So a lot of the beats of this movie, that they're coming. It doesn't feel different enough to be intriguing, and that's my takeaway from this movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just never got invested in.
I can understand that but playing it safe isn't necessarily bad as far as I'm concerned.
That's why I'm not going to rate it terribly as such. Like it successfully fits the formula that it's trying to achieve.
This is 1999. They weren't going to do anything crazy. These are a lot. I mean, James Van Der Beek is coming off Dawson's Creek. He's a bigger star than Paul Walker at this point. Paul Walker hasn't Fast and Furious yet, so
this might hurt you a little bit. I didn't know who Van Der Beek was besides as Robin's ex boyfriend in How I Met Your Mother. That's all I knew him from. It's like, oh yeah, that's Robin's ex boyfriend from How I Met Your Mother. That's nice.
He's Dawson from Dawson's Creek. That's what he is.
I haven't seen that.
And anyway, well, you're not a girl.
Okay.
And Rachel has a brain, so she's not going to watch it either. Point is, no, I mean, listen, James Van Der Beek, Dawson's Creek went on to have essentially an average career in movies, and I think he's fighting cancer right now. So best of luck to James Van Der Beek. But not a bad actor, but didn't really have a mega career. But this is a movie that I like because again, he does Mox is an engaging character because he's the conflicted guy. He doesn't want to be there, but then events take him out of the comfort zone that he was in, where he was just going along to get along. But then it's a classic hero's conflict. I am thrust in the situation. I know there's evil. I can only do so much. I'm a kid. And then what do I do? How do I stop? I know someone's going on. And then, as we talked about earlier, when the moment comes when Wendell tears his hammy, and he gets a hammy. I think it was a hammy. It looked like it was a hammy when he gets hurt running.
That's why they didn't clarify that or what the injection was doing.
Those of us, those who we know who like football, who are more into where they would probably say that was a hammy. I'm going to say he tore a hammy right there. It looked like it was a hammy. Anyway, and when he goes in there, it's a great complete come around moment. At the beginning of the movie, he's nothing. He has no ability. He's not the leader of the team. He's just a friend on the team. nobody's going to follow him at that point. But after basically carrying the team for 4 weeks, in that moment, he has reached that point of, I'm going to be the hero that my girlfriend said I need to be. I'm not going to ignore what they did to Lance and let them do it to Wendell. I'm not going to let them do that because the epilogue said Wendell still got his ride. He healed, he got his ride, and he got to go and pursue his dream.
Then it was probably a hammy because if it's your knee, like they showed with Lance, you're not
It
coming
was a
back
hammy.
from a knee injury.
It was a hammy because they said it was torn. I heard they said the word torn, so probably a torn hamstring.
Well, you can tear your ACL.
True. But then what we saw Wendell do it, it happened while his leg was extended in that scene. And when Lance goes down, you see his leg bend back, which makes it very clearly his knee, which they had already alluded to was getting shot up. So, but the whole point is that what I'm making is that Mox comes around. The beginning of the movie, he has no power. In that moment, he has the power because he has earned the trust of his teammates, and he has seen what has happened to the life of his best friend. What has happened to a friend who he didn't protect, who they let him do this stuff to, let them do that stuff to him. And here we are now. He has that moment, and he says, "I'm not going to let you do this." And he says, "I'll take your scholarship." He goes, "Fine, do it. If it saves his life, I will do it." And then everybody up, because he showed the heroic strength, because he earned everybody's trust, because he was a good friend to Lance. Lance also rolls up in that moment on the crutch, says, "I will tell them what you did to me." And then Tweeter says, "No, I'm going to stand with my friends." Billy Bob says, "I will beat you to death on my mama's grave. I'll beat you if you lay a hand on him."
He was the best character, man.
Combination comic relief, but also sadness of an unintelligent boy who got manipulated and indoctrinated into that whole circus of high school football to abuse himself. Yeah.
As Robin Williams taught us, the funniest guys are usually the saddest.
Yeah. So in that moment, and then of course it culminates with Kilmer flipping out and attacking him. And then that was it. When the entire team sees that he put hands on, not just like, "I'm going to hit you on the back of your helmet," which coaches do, or give you a shove to get moving. That's football. We're not going to cry about that. But he choked him.
Yeah, choking out is way too much.
Yeah, and that's when it was done. And then like you said, it's all predictable. Let's go be heroes. 24 minutes for 24 minutes, not 24
One
years.
final throw with slow-mo, no sound, and then a couple minutes in, the music starts to swell.
Though. I think that's good. I like that scene because by just having the angelic type music, is the best way I can put it, you're focused on it. Other sounds.
I know. I'm just saying that I've seen it in every football movie. It always comes down to a play like that. It's very safe.
It was safe, and it's good. And it's a solid epilogue where he says, "I got my scholarship to Brown. Lance's football coach. Wendell got his ride. Tweeter's a drunken maniac." And Billy Bob just cries because Billy Bob's not leaving town. He's not going anywhere. He's not getting a ride anywhere. Not with that weight. No, because listen, linesmen are a dime a dozen at that point. You're going to get them from all over the country at a school. But it's a good, solid ending. And we never played, for most of us, that was it. And it also clearly said they didn't go to state. They just got their district. It's like they didn't qualify for state that time. But it was over. And the legacy of Kilmer was done. And of course, maybe we get a little more, know what happens to the town, but we didn't really need it. No. It wasn't about the town. It was about these kids. And these kids overcame a destructive system. And they got their heroic moment. They peaked in high school. Maybe they didn't. But it was their moment. I love the line. It was our moment, and no one could take that away from us. Because they earned it. That's the thing. They earned it in that moment. And I love I love team unity stuff. I really do. That gets me. I love teamwork in all aspects. I always have fun with that kind of stuff. So that it's not a deep movie, but it's got solid character work. I think all the performances are solid. Jon Voight, when he's evil, is great. I love Jon Voight as an actor, and I think he's just horrible human being as Kilmer, and it's great. And everybody else is solid. I mean, no major standouts, but it's solid, and it's a safe, fun movie. And as far as football movies go, not the best in the world. But to me, it's more about the characters than the game. The game is just the backdrop, and you get some cool moments,
Mhm.
and it's a little fun. So I don't have much else to say about it. You want to add anything else?
No, nothing else to add
Okay.
before we
All right.
go.
All right. So it's my week. I'll score it. As I said, as we've kind of talked it out here, it's a safe sports movie. It doesn't have it's a movie about morality, which I appreciate. No good dads, unfortunately. The dads are all shit. That loses points. But then again, we talk about the relationships. The characters are fun, performances are solid. I think the cinematography, the production value is very high. As I said, a lot of great shots, and they slow down the game enough so you can see what's happening, but they don't have it go too fast so you miss everything. It's a good, they balance the gameplay footage well enough. And I like happy endings. So I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10 because I watch this movie a couple times a year. So how you feeling on this?
Well, I really like how you described it there. It's a safe movie. It is a safe football movie. It fits the formula to a T. It knows what it is. And if you have seen a football movie before, you've basically seen this movie before. I have to admit, though, it wasn't a movie for me, so I have a bias against it because I'm not a big sports fan. I don't watch sports in my day-to-day life. I played a little bit in high school, like we mentioned at the beginning, but that was it. Even sports movies don't do it for me. There has to be something else really going on for me to enjoy it. Like, Remember the Titans is a favorite sports movies of mine, and Miracle is another good one with Kurt. But they just don't do it for me. And with the not very credible, in my opinion, town view of the football team with the coach getting a statue, it was all just too much. So I was never invested in the movie. I never got immersed in anything that was going on, and I didn't care through all of it. But I have to admit, there aren't any plot holes that I noticed that were egregious or anything like that. There wasn't any big breaking moments. There wasn't a lack of talent in anything that was standing out. It just fit the formula, and it fit the formula well. So I have to give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, hey, all right. Oh, that's good. All right, then. There you go. Yeah, like we said, there's nothing wrong with a safe movie.
Yeah, it's very safe.
This is like it was a mid-level movie. You put it out there, it does its job. It has its place in the sports movies. And when you say you like stuff like Remember the Titans and Miracle, those are historical movies in a sense. They're history. So there's a lot more invested in it because it really happened. So it's a lot easier to get invested in that. So I can see that. All right. We got 2 weeks left before Thanksgiving. One more for you, one more for me before we go take our Thanksgiving break. What do you got for us next week?
Well, we don't do a whole lot of family movies, and Thanksgiving is the time for family movies. There's not a lot of great Thanksgiving movies, in my opinion. There's just movies that take place at Thanksgiving. Yeah. So I decided a family movie was the way to go, and there's few better family studios, at least back in the day, than Disney. So I'm going to choose another classic Disney movie, but this time it's a classic family Disney movie. I'm going to be picking the 1960s Disney film Swiss Family
Robinson. I can see where you're going. Man, I haven't seen that version forever. It's been a long
I love that movie. I watched it a lot as a kid. I have a lot of nostalgia with it, and I think we're gonna have a good discussion. It's a little bit long, but I do enjoy that movie a lot.
It's long. It's been I haven't seen that movie since I don't remember. I think I was living in Jersey in that time, so that's a long ass time ago. It's been a long time, but I've seen it. Long time. All right, there you go. Another one in the books. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We hope you had a good time. Best thing you can do is hit those like buttons, subscribe to the channels, and we'll see you next week, probably at the same time. Yeah, same time. Yeah, I'll have my haircut done before then. Anyway, all right, guys, we'll see you next week. Take it easy.